What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're getting into my basically the All-Star break power rankings. I know there's 3 games going into it, but basically this is it. So let's dive right into the rankings. Starting out with the worst team, going to be dropping down a spot here. The Houston Rockets are officially the worst team here. This team goes 0-2 this week. Yeah, I mean, the Rockets just clearly have lacked talent. They lack veteran presence on this team. Too young, just not enough players right now that are not experienced enough to get them wins, and it's showing right now. They've lost a lot of games in a row, so Rockets officially get that bottom spot from the number 29 team, which is going to be the Pistons. The Rockets just another bad week for this team. All right, so going to number 19 though. We're going to have the Detroit Pistons here, who are going to be jumping up a spot. So Detroit's Bojan Bogdanovic is obviously a good player here, but obviously he's not the best for this team. This team goes 1-2 this week. Bojan Bogdanovic is not enough to carry this team all the way. Cade Cunningham, that injury's been a rough one for them to sustain, and they don't have enough talent on this roster. Still developing players, I get that, but right now, Pistons are not a very good team. And then a team close to being at number 28, but it's going to be staying here. We're going to have the San Antonio Spurs. Wherever they are, there they are. The Spurs this week go, I believe, they go 0-4. So really, really rough week for the Spurs. As I mentioned, we're almost the bottom team here, but just not quite. I think that they're a little bit better than the Pistons and the Rockets because of Greg Popovich as a coach. That's really the only thing that's helping them. Don't expect too much out of the Spurs. This team could be worse than the Pistons. Another bad week of this. I mean, they're a game back now in the Pistons if they, standings wise. But I do still think that the Spurs are a little bit better because of Popovich's coaching ability, but clearly lacks the talent. If you weren't going off coaching, I probably would put this team at the bottom. They probably would be at the bottom either way, record wise. All right, but then number 27, we're going to have the Charlotte Hornets here. We stand at the same spot. The Hornets this week go 2-2, so good week for LaMelo Ball and company, but we all know what this team is. Not a very good team. Just besides Ball, I mean, not enough talent on this roster. They played well this week, though, a good week. But at 17-43, there is just too little time here to make this up, so Hornets still going to be down in the dumps there at 27. And then number 26, the Orlando Magic, the most intriguing team, as I've been saying over the past few power rankings in this tier. The Magic this week go 2-2. So, the Magic just continue to try and hang around right here. I've been saying, if they can get a win streak going, they can get a little bit closer. I mean, they're close to the in the hunt tier. The play-in tier. The play-in tournament. But they're just not quite there. The Eastern Conference has some better teams, I think, and right now I just can't see it happening, especially they've just been going average 2-2, 2-3, 3-2, or whatever you want to call it over the past few weeks. It's not going to be enough to make the plan. But we'll see if they can bounce back. Still a very good team in Orlando. Or solid team. Polio, very good rookie player. All right, and then number 25, staying at the same spot here, we're going to have the Indiana Pacers as we move on to the in the hunt tier here. The Pacers this week go 1-3, so a rough week for the Pacers. Have kind of fallen off the map here. They were up in the 5th, 6th range in the East, I believe, at one point. And they have completely fallen off right now. At number 25, just not playing great. Their flaws are kind of getting exposed here, kind of playing more like that team I was kind of anticipating coming into the year. They got a lot of talent with Halberton, Matherin, really good player out of Arizona. It's just not enough, though, for Indiana. There's still a rebuild here. That much is clear. But we'll see if they can bounce back. Still a very good team. I like the Pacers. They're a solid team. They could beat a lot of good teams, but right now struggling. All right, and then number 24, taking the biggest drop out of any team here, the Chicago Bulls, an 8 drop down here. The Bulls this week go 0-4. So yeah, I mean, this is just one of these things that in this like 25 from the basically from the in the hunt tier to the play-in tier, it's very mixed here. It's very even. And if you have a bad week like this, and other teams have better weeks, I mean, especially if you go 0-4, you're going to drop, and that's what the Bulls are getting here. They, especially in the standings, if you look at them in the standings, they are a game and a half back on any team in the Eastern Conference for the play-in. Just not playing good. Just did not play a good week. I mean, it's been an inconsistency all year for the Bulls. It's just being inconsistent. I know that's kind of weird to say, but yeah, I mean, inconsistent here. Their consistency is inconsistency. It's just not good for the Chicago Bulls. They need to be better than this here. They got the talent. I'm expecting this Bulls team to be better right now, but they are not. So it's been a rough year for Chicago. They gotta go on a winning streak here. Bounce back, show their inconsistency at their full strength. All right, but then going to number 23, staying at the same spot, we have the Toronto Raptors. Here they are. The Raptors this week go 2-1. It's a decent week for Toronto. But yeah, I mean, the Raptors benefiting obviously of that Bulls losing streak, as they're now in the play-in tournament, standings wise, and in this. But yeah, I mean, if you're Toronto, you get a good week. This roster, we all know it's a well-coached team. They got balanced roster here, a good team. And it was just kind of a struggle through a few weeks there. But I still think that the Raptors, they just needed a little bit of a push from them going on winning streak, which they are playing good, or just a team losing like the Bulls did. That'll be enough to push the Raptors in. And right now they are benefiting from it. So congratulations to the Raptors getting in there. But if they're in the Western Conference, as you can see, I don't think that they're one of the 10 would make the play-in if they're in the West. Which brings us to a few West teams here at number 22, jumping up 2 spots. We have the Utah Jazz, and I got to give hats off to Utah here. This week they go 2-2. They literally, I expected this team to just maybe with the Mike Conley trade, Russell Westbrook, I have no idea what's going on with him. I expected this team to kind of lay down and maybe just not play as good because Conley was a big player there. But it's definitely so. It's the Jazz do not quit right now. This roster, I mean, they nearly came back down 24 against the Grizzlies last night. Nearly won that game. Yeah, I mean Utah this team is resilient. This team's good. Watch out for the Jazz here. Lauri Markkanen is a really good player. The Jazz are a good team, guys. It's time to start doubting them, even with some of these trades. Utah still is right in the mix here, and they're still, as obviously we see, they go 2-2 this week. Could have been a lot of close games. I mean, the Jazz playing a lot of close games. That's also a thing with them. They find ways to be in these games against anyone, and it's impressive for Utah. So the Jazz, very much that spoiler team, very much that pesky team here. At 29-31, not quite in the play tournament in the West, but I do think that they could be at the end of the year. And then number 21, jumping up a spot, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder this week go 2-1, so good week for Shea and his squad. Yeah, I mean Oklahoma City, this team's well coached. It's a good roster. plays together. I like the Thunder. I like the Thunder a lot. They're going to be a team that's going to be very good in the future, but right now they're just trying to sneak in the playoffs. Shea is playing excellent. I wouldn't be surprised if this team makes it. They're playing really good. So yeah, watch out for the Thunder there at number 21. All right, but then jumping up a spot here, we have the Washington Wizards at number 20 into the play-in tier. So the Wizards this week, I believe they go 2-1, so good week for Washington. Just trying to find consistency with Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma, and Porzingis. This whole team. We all know that they're talent. They just need to put it together, and I think that the Wizards can do so. I think that they'll be just fine. But obviously, we've seen them be inconsistent this year. But I think that the Wizards are going to be, if they can make the play-in tournament, you never know what can happen with this team. So that's my stance on the Wizards right now. At number 19, jumping up a spot, we have the Golden State Warriors here. Golden State this week goes 1-2. Yeah, 1-2. Sorry. Still missing Steph Curry for this team. He should be back after the All-Star break. So that's good for Golden State. Same Golden State team without Curry. I think this team is not very good. Steph Curry is obviously the heart and soul of that team. So once he's back, this team could be a little bit more legit. But right now, I think that the Warriors are at a good spot at 19. All right, and then jumping up a spot here to 18 are the Warriors. Also, by the way, are in this tier. It's going to be the LA Lakers. The Lakers kind of been a little bit questioning this ranking, probably a few of you. But the Lakers this week go 2-2, so it's not been as bad as advertised as some people saying without Russell Westbrook gone. I mean, LeBron James has been injured for a few of these games. I think that this trade is going to really help LA a lot. Getting rid of Westbrook, getting Russell, getting this roster here. I think that the Lakers are going to be a solid team in the plan. You can't count out LeBron James. If he makes the playoffs, you can't count him out. I mean, what one seed will want to play LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and D'Angelo Russell as a 10 seed? I don't know. I don't care how bad else their roster is. You do not want to play those three in the first round. So, yeah, watch out for the LA Lakers. I think that they could make the tournament. They got a better roster than I think a lot of people are saying. So, Lakers at 18. Number 17, jumping up a spot, we got the Portland Trail Blazers. The Blazers this week are going to go 1-2. So, not a good week for Portland. I still like the Blazers here. Damian Lillard, obviously an excellent player. I think that with Curry out, I think that the Blazers are a slightly better team without Curry. With Curry in, I think that the Warriors are better. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Portland, it's always never been about Lillard. It's just been about this roster, I think, around him. So I think that the Trailblazers are going to be fine. And then number 16, jumping up a spot here, the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets this week are going to go 2-2. So solid week for Brooklyn. Just trying to find a way to survive without Durant and Irving. And, this roster isn't as bad as a lot of people think without them. You got Spencer Dinwiddie. You got Ben Simmons. Obviously, he's having a bad year, but it's not as bad as advertised. I'll just say that. For the Nets, and they got a really good record right now too. So I doubt this team is going to just completely collapse and miss out on the play-in tournament as a whole. I think that they'll be just fine. Obviously, this is one of those teams though that their ceiling is low. You probably want to play the Nets in the first round of the playoffs, but or the play-in. But yeah, without them, they're still a good team. Still got some fight in them. So Brooklyn going to be coming in at 16. And then number 15, we're going to have the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks this week are going to go um, 2-2. So another average week for Atlanta. Trae Young and DeJounte Murray trying to bring this team, basically carry this team on their backs. I mean, it's not a very good. It's not the best roster around them. Obviously, they have a few good players there with John Collins and some others, but yeah, I mean, Atlanta. I don't know about Atlanta. I mean, they're just kind of a weird team to rank because we know if Murray and Young are on, this team can be scary, but it just hasn't been too much of that this year. They're 29-30 for a reason, so we'll see if the Hawks um, can be better. All right, and then going to number 14, also standing here at the same spot, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans this week are going to go 1-2. So, yeah, decent week for New Orleans. Just waiting for Zion to come back here. Is he back? Let me. I just need to see this guy's real quick. Sorry. Oops. I don't think he is, right? Yeah, he's not back yet. I think he might be back for the All-Star break. I'm not entirely sure on the Zion Williamson situation right now. But we'll see. Either way, I think that without him, they're still the 14th best team. Brandon Ingram, really good player. CJ McCollum, also very solid for the Pelicans. And there's not a lot of other teams that I think should be ahead of them here. Pelicans, just a decent enough basketball team. All right, and then going to number 13 here, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. Staying at the same spot. I think that Mike Conley trade this week really proved well here for the Timberwolves. They go 1-1. So, yeah, just went 1-1, but they took down a really good team in what's their face? The Mavericks, who had Kyrie Irving, of course. So that's a big week. Rudy Gobert, obviously, a lot more comfortable with Irving here for this team. And I think that the Kings are going to be a good. The Timberwolves are going to be a solid team, and we're just waiting for Karl-Anthony Towns to come back. How is that going to work? It's been kind of iffy with Gobert and Towns in there, but I think that if he's playing good for Cat and Gobert, if they can mesh, we know with this team's potential, it can be very scary. All right, so that is the play-in tournament tier. Let's go to the playoffs tier here, starting at number 12. Going to be staying here at the same spot. We have the New York Knicks. The Knicks this week are going to go, I believe, 2-1. So solid week for New York. Julius Randle and this roster playing good basketball for them. We know this Knicks team is a good team. So yeah, not a lot has changed on New York. With Jalen Brunson, this team is solid. And they're a playoff team for a reason right now. They're in the top 6 in the Eastern Conference for a reason, and that's where my stance is on New York. And then number 11, dropping down a spot here, we have the Sacramento Kings. This week they are going 1-0. So they only played one game, I think. No, 1-2. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so one sec, guys. It is too dark in my room. I'm gonna have to turn on my lights. Okay, there you go. Sorry, guys. I just needed to turn on my lights. But anyway, the Sacramento Kings are a solid team. I'm really happy for this year for them. I really want to see the Kings in the playoffs for the first time in who knows how long. I really like the Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox is a really good player. Sabonis playing really good as well. So the Kings well deserved to be in the playoffs here at number 11 here. But then number 10, the Suns coming up. Durant looking to come back after the All-Star break. Even without him, this team is a top team here at 2-1, playing good basketball. Obviously Devin Booker. It's scary to see Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Chris Paul all together it's going to be really, really good to see. But for the Phoenix Suns, and just trying to win these games, get up there. Once Durant's in, this will be a whole different team and a whole different ranking, most likely. All right, but then number 9, staying at the same spot, was debating putting this team in the playoffs here, but they only played 2 games this week. Went 1-1, so I'm not gonna do it quite yet. For LA, yeah, I mean the Clippers. It's been an inconsistent year for them. I mean, I don't know about LA here because you got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Obviously, we know what this team is capable of, but I mean, yeah, I mean. It's just they've been iffy this season. Can they stay healthy? Can they, be a more consistent team? We'll see if they can. I mean, that's really my question on the Clippers. If they can have a good week after the All-Star break, then I will see if they deserve to be in the contender tier. But as for right now, I think that they should stay here at number 9. All right, so let's go to the contenders tier now. Starting out with number 8, dropping down a spot, and it's going to be the Dallas Mavericks. So Irving gets traded, and they have a rough go at it so far. They go 1-3. So rough week for Dallas. But I kind of anticipated this. Mavericks kind of struggling with Kyrie Irving. It's going to take some time. I'm going to give them another week to see if they can get things going a bit. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Dallas. I still think that they're a darn good basketball team here. If Irving is on, and if Luka and Irving can mesh together, this can be a very good team and a contender for a reason. I'm betting on it. We'll see if it can pan out. All right, but then going to number 7, jumping up a spot, the Miami Heat was. These two was kind of debating dropping out of the contender tier, but not going to do it. Miami Heat just had a decent enough week, 2-1. I didn't see any reason why to drop them out. Yeah, I mean Miami, Jimmy Butler and this squad, a very good team, and with Dallas losing, I think that they deserve to come up. Yeah, I like Miami. Obviously, we know that this team has been a top team in the past for a reason. Come playoffs time, very experienced team. You cannot count out the Heat here. And then dropping down a spot, we got the Memphis Grizzlies at number 6. The Memphis Grizzlies this week are going to go 2-1. So really it was just because I think that the number 5 team is just slightly better than Memphis. Ja Morant, obviously still a really good player for Memphis. But, yeah, I mean, I still think that the Grizzlies, there are better teams out there. I was kind of a little bit too higher on them early on in the year. I kind of see their flaws a little bit more now. But still, Memphis, a contender for a reason, and the number 2 team in the West for a reason. But they have slipped. The Nuggets have completely taken over that role. And then number 5, or the role of number 1. And then number 5, jumping up a spot, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs this week are going to go 3-2. Or, sorry, yeah, wait. No, 3-1, sorry. Had a little bit of a weird thing there. But anyway, Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell and this Cavaliers team, obviously so explosive. We've seen it time and time again. And obviously the defense is an issue. But when this offense is on, it's like impossible to stop Mitchell and this team. And I'm a big Cleveland supporter here. I think that they can be a very top team for the next few years, basically. I mean, for a long time. I mean, Cleveland's very young with Mitchell. This team is scary for the future, and they're just only going to get better over time, I think. All right, but the number 4 here, staying at the same spot, we're going to have the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers are going to be going 4-0, so really good week for Sixers, went undefeated. Yeah, Philadelphia's clearly broken themselves out to be the number 4 team. Joel Embiid and James Harden, it's just a really good duo here. Philadelphia's playing really freaking good, and you cannot count out Philadelphia. Yeah, I mean, basically, I've been doing this ever since James Harden's came back. I mean, they've just been dominating a lot of the good teams here. And then number 3, the Denver Nuggets, going to be in here, staying at the same spot. The Nuggets this week are going to be going 3-1. So Nikola Jokic's squad playing good. Obviously, as I mentioned, just kind of broken away. I mean, the Grizzlies are 5 games back now on Denver for the number 1 seed. So Denver really looking pretty there going into the All-Star break. Obviously, the Nuggets, very freaking fracking good basketball team, and a lot of teams should be worried about Denver. Um, the Jamal Murray and Jokic and this whole roster is just top in the could be the best. I'm not going to give it to them, but could be the best in the whole NBA. But yeah, Denver, watch out for this team. And then number 2, dropping down a spot. We have a new number 1 here. The Boston Celtics are not going to be number 1 this week. So the Celtics this week are going to be going 3-1. Don't get me wrong. Love Boston. This roster incredible with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. It's just, will this team be enough, to win the finals this year? Obviously, they're number 2 for a reason. But I don't think that they're the best team in the Eastern Conference. As number 1, I think that this team has the best. The Bucks have the best player in the whole NBA, and that's really what breaks them out from the Celtics. The Bucks are on an 11-game winning streak here. They have rightfully owned the number 1 spot back again, as I had them earlier this year. They went, as I mentioned, have won 11 straight, went 3-0 this week, just dominating for Giannis. I think that they're slightly better than the Celtics. It's been close for a long time, but I think with this stretch that they've been having, they deserve to be the number 1 team in the whole league. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your rankings. And anyway, peace out.